Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Rights Commission chairperson Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva has backed the work of the Section 22 committee, saying it was intended to defend religious communities. Her remarks come in the wake of a dramatic resignation from the committee by former member Reverend Musa Xulu, who has leveled serious allegations against her leadership during a press briefing at the CRL Commission headquarters in Braamfontein. Mkhwanazi-Xaluva defended the committee and its intended mandate, saying it was meant to enforce ethical conduct of the religious and linguistic communities and not specifically the church. For more on this, we're joined by Dr. John Maloma, CRL Section 22 Ad Hoc Committee Member. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. John. And I want us to start with the resignation of Reverend Xulu, because some within the sector have called it a principled stand against overreach.
Yes. Thank you so much, Linda, and good afternoon or evening to all the viewers. Indeed, it was perceived to have been a principled stance prior the press conference we had on the 21st, wherein the chairperson of CRL laid it bare for the nation in terms of what happened behind the scenes. And I think she put across a sequence of events which proved that, in fact, it wasn't a principled decision, but it was a decision made rashly to jump off the cliff, so to speak.
Yeah, one of the things that Reverend Xulu highlighted was the issue around the terms of reference and his intended mandate and how he was going to run this thing, saying that there was a mismatch there.
Partly, I'll agree with Professor Xulu, because it looks like upon his appointment, which was prior the establishment of Section 22, he may have, I don't know what his mandate was, and I didn't know until it was published on the 21st. It looks like he went on a path of embarking on a solo investigation or research, desktop research, which ended up with a document that he named the white paper, which tended to be in conflict with the Section 22 terms of reference, which mentions nothing about developing a policy document or a white paper, as we can't develop a white paper. But rather, our terms of reference specifically said we are to develop a discussion guideline document that will be given to the pastors, and then we, as a form of engagement with the pastors, so that at the end of our process, we can then come up with a document that is developed by church leaders for the church and with the church. I think that's where the discrepancies or the differences are. And he went on this path that he took, and it backfired because it created problems even for the Section 22 before we even started, because the pastors out there got hold of this leaked white paper of Professor Xulu, which we were not aware of. And that paper became the basis upon which organizations such as FOSA and then church defenders took him and CRL to court because of the document which did not belong to Section 22 committee.
So are you then saying he deviated from the intended purpose and his mandate? Absolutely,
absolutely. In fact, I think the chair of CRL made a damning indictment on him to say the document he produced was not sanctioned nor authorized by CRL. In fact, she went on to say they're looking at how he actually stole, that's what she said, he stole the CRL logo and put it on his document and leaked it without any authorization. So that document, which the FOSA and other opponents of Professor Xulu dissected and tore it apart, including inviting the professors that he actually used their material for putting that thing together. They came back to say, you must retract that document. It is not properly done, it's not academically sound, and because they used that to lay a charge against him. But the problem, Linda, came when we released our document on the 19th of December. He said, this is the document. Pastors, look at this document. It's not a policy. It's just a framework, and it's a discussion document. We are coming to you in February onwards to engage with the churches, because churches need to be assured that we are about self-regulation. We cannot regulate. You know, we cannot regulate. Even the Portfolio Committee recommendation 2018 said the churches must self-regulate. And we are sincerely standing on that ground to say ours is not a document that we manufactured ourselves. So it looks like Professor Xulu wanted to impose his document on us, and we rejected it, you know, on the 25th of November to say, Prof, this is your document, it's not our document. And we cannot allow anybody to bring a document that we don't know.
Yeah. And if you say Professor Xulu or Reverend Xulu had his own document and the committee had its own document, then it raises questions about the integrity of the committee itself if all of you are working, you know, in silos or in groups.
No, it was not in silos. Remember, Professor Xulu became our chairperson from the 1st of October. He presided over a meeting on the 31st of October. In that meeting, he assigned us tasks to start developing a discussion document. And at the end of producing that task document, he then turned around and criticized our document, which we thought it is his document, only to find that he's got his own document, which we're not aware of. We only became aware of his document on the 25th of November, when we said, let's put on the wall the document that we developed. Then he said, no, let me give you my document. We sat through, we listened to his we read through, we listened to his document, said, but this document is not as per our terms of reference. So there's no conflict there. So we then said, we can't go with your document. We have to work with this one that you presided over to produce as per our terms of reference.
Yeah, you know, Reverend Xulu then speaks about how he cannot be part of a front disguised as a predetermined agenda of state control of religion. What is your response to that?
I find it very ironic, my brother. It's very ironic because if you look at his document, I don't know if you have it, it is his document that presents itself as a white paper. It is his document that was presenting a predetermined position. Our document doesn't do that. Our document is a discussion document. Now, after crossing the floor and finding space with his former enemies, then he's twisting things that the former enemies were accusing him of. And Linda, I think where he is now, together with FOSA and church defenders, they now have to talk about what are they going to do about the case they opened against him, based on his document, which is not CRL document, nor is it a Section 22 committee document. The committee is united. We are not divided. Unfortunately, we had a chairperson who had his own agenda, and when he was exposed, he had to jump ship and join his former enemies.
This entire situation has led for, or called, or in fact provoked many in this religious sector and seen many calling for issues of transparency in how you do things. And again, it brings me back to the question of the integrity of the work that the committee is meant to do, particularly because you operate in a space where there are a lot of concerns about churches and regulations of churches, and even going as far as abuses that happen in churches.
Yeah, Linda, we've been very transparent about our process. That is why when we are done with our document, we called a press conference on the 19th of December. We presented it to the nation to see for itself. On the 21st, this week past, when we were having a press conference, we published all the documents, minutes, correspondence that Professor Xulu had with the CRL Commission. If you visit the CRL website, press statements, all the documents are there for the public to access and see that there's nothing to hide, because we are going to the public, we are going to our stakeholders, we are seeing all the umbrella bodies, we are seeing all the denominational leaders, we are going to see all the fraternals, we are going to see all the pastors. And now I can tell you from the 21st, everybody is relieved, because the mystery that was covering this whole thing of a white paper, that was in the offing has been revealed. Because Section 22 or CRL can't drive a white paper. We are not a department. We are not executive. in this country. So only departments can do that, not us.
And these tensions, don't you think they risk alienating communities that are looking at the committee for, a way forward?
No. The committee is now on track. The committee is now on track in terms of its mandate and in terms of reference. We said to the community, the nation, we are still saying today now, that in February early, 11, 12, we are meeting as the committee to map out, operationalize our consultative plan, and we will call the press conference and say, this is the plan, these are the dates. On such and such a date will be this place in Limpopo, in Gauteng, all the provinces. We're going to touch all parts of our country. There's no alienation from anybody. There are few people that seems to be opposed to this. But Linda, let me remind the nation, we have in the Section 22 credible umbrella bodies. We have ZCC, biggest church in the country. We have SACC. We have Nazareth Baptist Church. We have the Evangelical Alliance of South Africa. We have Independent Council of Independent Churches of Africa. We have RIMA. We have Moral Regeneration Movement. I mean, all these are credible umbrella bodies. They wouldn't have wanted their organizations to be associated with something that is not transparent, that is not credible. And dare I say that people that are in that committee are all credible leaders, church leaders, some of whom are advocates themselves.
Others may argue that Reverend Xulu himself was a credible figure and a well-respected figure in the religious space. So why should they believe you and not him?
Now, evidence is there for them to make up a decision on whether he was credible or not. Let's take, for example, Fossa, for example, was accusing, in fact, let's say Xulu is accusing the CRL chair of being fixated to Michael Swain of Fossa by taking him to court. Now, we exposed it on the 21st. She exposed it to say, look, my whistleblower was Xulu. Here is an affidavit. Go to CRL website. An affidavit compiled by Professor Xulu that influenced the CRL chair to open a case against Swain. And then he turns when he resigns to say, no. She is fixated. Now, the public is there to judge for itself. What is credible, what is sincere, what is honest.
And let's talk about the way forward now. I mean, with these tensions, you say you are credible. How are you going to win the public's trust? They're looking at this process, which is meant to, alleviate some of the problems that arise in the religious sector. So they sitting at home watching, the people that are meant to come together and solve the problems within the religious squabble. So what do you think will bring that public confidence in the process that you do, and not particularly in the figures themselves and the squabbles, but the solutions that will take the entire conversation forward? Here
lies the way forward. What we are saying as a Section 22 Ad Hoc Committee is that we are coming as servants. We are not regulators. We are pastors. We are fellow servants. We are congregants. We have a document that we have completed. Nobody has criticized it. We say to everybody in the country, read the document, prepare yourself. Then we are coming to you. We are not running away. We are coming to you to engage with you, and then you are free to make inputs on this document. It is your document. It is not a policy document, and we are going to be transparent. If at the end of the process, the church throughout South Africa says, we don't want even a self-regulation, we'll come back to the nation and say, the process says we don't want anything to do even with self-regulation. But we ask the public to take us into confidence because we are not running away from them. We are coming to them. And our principals, the ones that allowed us to serve here, they've given us permission to serve. And then I'm asking them not to listen to individuals who have maybe other agendas that they are pushing. And then they're creating confusion in the social media space. Let them follow what we are saying, and then we will prove by walking the talk that we are promising them.
Dr. John Maloma, thank you very much for your time. He is the CRL Section 22 Ad Hoc Committee Member, talking to us, of course, about the allegations against the CRL Commission. of course, leveled against or by Reverend Xulu following his resignation as chairperson in that portfolio, in that ad hoc committee, rather.